This video is going to be the weekly forecast for the Indices futures next week. Let's start from the weekly chart. On NQ, it's pretty clear that we are going lower. We have a shift, a change in the state of delivery right here when we closed below this up close candle. We have taken out buy stops. This is a swing high, so we've taken out buy stops and now we are taking out sell stops. So to me, NQ, it's going to be the leadership going forward, moving lower. ES, what you can see here is that we have tapped into the weekly order block 50%. But based on the candle's closing price, it is not ideal. This right here is a swing high. Okay, so this week is supposed to support the price to go higher. So you don't want to see any closing prices below 50% of this swing highs wick. Right? So in this case, we have it. So for me, what I can see for ES, the next objective is this weekly fair value gap below this swing low. Right? For NQ, there are a few levels that I would utilize. First one would be the 25%. Second one would be the complete fill of this fair value gap on the weekly time frame. And then we have this small little inefficiency down here below this candle's low. Right, so if you take a closer look, you're going to see this small little inefficiency down here. Right, so this to me, I think, is NQ's objective next week, because NQ it's way more bearish than ES. Right. So for next week, what can I look for? Okay. If I go down into the daily time frame, I'm going to get a bearish PDRA. In this case, we have this fair value gaps and this consecutive up close candles. So this is your bearish order block with a fair value gap. So this fair value gap right here, to me, it's a high probability fair value gap. For NQ, we have no order blocks except for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive up close candles. That is going to be your order block. Right, so we are more bearish on NQ. So I'm going to expect 25% or between 0 to 25%, the 50% level here. Right, so to make it clearer, it's going to be this range here, 50%. I think if ES can come up into this area here, we can reach for the 50% right here. And I would prefer NQ to not fill up or to not tap into this particular fair value gap. Okay, because it has closed below this 1, 2, 3 consecutive down close candles. So this is your classic breaker. This down close candle here is your inversion order block, inverse bullish order block. Right, so initially this was your bullish order block, right? Because price has closed below, I'm expecting this to act as a resistance. Okay, so between this range here, I would also look at this candle here, and what I'm looking for is a lower time frame SMT within this area, the levels that I've highlighted, and this fair value gap for ES, a lower time frame SMT, to short into the lows. Right, I will be leaning bearish next week, so that would be my objectives. If you take a look at the economic calendar, we have news events from Wednesday to Friday. Wednesday is 9:45, Thursday is 8:30, and Friday is 8:30 as well. We don't have any news on Monday and Tuesday, so I would be expecting Monday and Tuesday to trade higher, and then your classic Wednesday high of the week or your Thursday reversal. These two profiles. In an event, if we continue to trade lower, then I would consider Thursday to be a reversal. Reversal meaning trading back upwards, right? So if Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday continues to trade lower into the objectives that I have highlighted on the weekly chart, then I would think that on Thursday we might want to reverse higher. Okay, overall on the higher time frames, we are still in a bullish order flow. It's just that right now we have a short-term change in the state of delivery. I cannot say that we are in a reversal profile here because we don't have a weekly SMT on the highs yet. Right, so that's one factor here. On the daily time frame, yes, we do have a daily SMT, but it's not those SMTs that are really clear. Okay, as you can see right here, this was the higher high for ES, and this is the lower high for NQ. So this is your daily time frame SMT. We don't have that on the weekly time frame. Okay, like there is no swing high on a weekly and then they form the SMT like what you see on the daily time frame. Over here, now this is one good example of the weekly SMT, right? Okay, so over here, ES is trading higher on the weekly time frame. NQ is not trading higher in terms of the bodies, right? And then you got this huge reversal move here, and then we traded higher again because we are in a bullish order flow. So for me, I'm going to take it as a retracement rather than a reversal. Okay, and how far is it going to retrace? For NQ, I'm looking at 50%. For ES, maybe 25% or 50% as well. Yeah, we are in the 25% right now. Right, so either 25% or the 50%. But I am looking forward to see an SMT. Meaning, I'm looking for SMT between ES and NQ on the lows to continue higher. Okay, so right now we can see that NQ has taken out this swing low here. ES has not taken out the swing low down here. Okay, so if it wants to reverse, okay, what I would be expecting or waiting for is a lower time frame change in the state of delivery, leaving the lows here. So in a case whereby they don't want to trade into the lows and then you get a lower time frame change in the state of delivery, I'm looking for the 6 hours. Okay, as long as the 6 hours provide a change in the state of delivery, I would consider that as a continuation bullish order flow, which means we basically just ran down last week to take out sell side, and then we're going to reverse higher. So it's like a stop hunt and then higher prices. Okay, so this is like a higher time frame expectation, right? So I'm going to lean on to the current order flow first until I see something else. All right, so bearish first, and if price just refuse to take out this low for ES, this particular, this low right here for ES, if price just decides not to do so, then obviously we might get something in August, like a reversal higher in August, right? Looking at the monthly time frame, this is how the month looks like. Whether or not we get a fair value gap, okay, it all depends on next week. Sorry, next week. We have FOMC on 31st of Wednesday, and that is the last day of July. So if we get a fair value gap here, then obviously we're going to anticipate August is going to tap into the fair value gap and then go higher. But for this, I'll have to wait for the closing price on Wednesday to determine whether this is going to happen or not. Alright, and this right here is your bullish order block. Same thing here, bullish order block. So I'm going to continue to assume that price is going to go higher on the higher time frames. Okay, we're still bullish on the higher time frames. It's just that on the lower time frames we have a short retracement impulse, whatever you call it. Okay, and that's basically it. I'm not going to go down into the lower time frames because I don't see anything there to be worthy of mention since we have everything on the 6 hours already. Okay, so over here, as you can see, I'm just gonna do a slight review of my model and what I was looking for. Okay, over here you can see that price is trading higher highs for ES and then lower highs for NQ. Right, as long as we have closed below these two outclose candles that form the higher high, this itself is a change in state of delivery. So at this point in time, Wednesday, July midnight candle here, NQ is right here. So NQ has closed below this candle. Also marking the change in the state of delivery. Okay, yes, and at the same time you can see that price has traded up into this last up close candle here for NQ, respecting the 50% level and the 25% level. Alright, so for NQ, this two up close candle, sorry, no, unfortunately there is no proportional block here. Okay, so moving on, we get this huge displacement lower, right? So over here probably you wouldn't get any chance of entering unless you're trying to short ES. This move here you probably wasn't able to get in. Okay, so you look forward to the next day and then you get your fair value gap here. NQ, same thing. Alright, if you look to the left, you have this inversion for ES, and for NQ, this inversion right here. Inversion fair value gap. Right, this fair value gap was used to send the price higher. So when it comes back down through the fair value gap, this is going to act as a resistance. Furthermore, NQ is the more bearish one, so it's going to respect it even more, as you can see right here. Okay, so if you missed this day, this is Thursday. If you missed it, you still have Friday. So Friday we traded up into another fair value gap here. Right, at this point in time we are really close to this lows here. Okay, so at the start of Friday's candle, which is right here, Thursday 6 p.m. This is what you get, this swing low and this low here. So the low hanging fruit would be trading up here and then down into this objective. These two up close candles would be your bearish order block. For ES, it's a little bit unclear, right? It's a little bit wonky for ES, but over here you can use this down close candle as soon as it closes below 50% of the wick. This wick here, we close below the wick at this candle here, Friday 6 a.m. candle. So at the opening price, Friday's 12 o'clock candle, you could anticipate price to just trade up into the wick and then drop lower. If you want to use the entire order block, you probably wouldn't get any entry, right? So the wick here is the key. Just like how I used the wick on the weekly candle as well, right? And then obviously your low hanging fruit would be this inefficiency down here. And then if you really want to reach for your maximum, you can go for the inversion fair value gap right here. Okay, so this is your inversion fair value gap. Look at how it just taps into the 50% and then closed above. Okay, so over here 50%, right? So yeah, everything is on the 6 hours, so I don't see any point in going lower, right? All you need was the 6 hours time frame. Yep. And let me see what else. Alright, so just to also take notes is that we are very near the opening price for the month of June. Sorry, the month of July. Okay, so here, yep, we are below the opening price for NQ, and we are coming really close to the opening price for ES. So if you can envision the whole monthly candle in the 6 hours time frame, it's something like open, drop, SMT on the lows, expand higher, okay, and then it drops back down. This is like a reversal, which is what I said last week. Okay, reversal, taking out the low of the month, of the initial low of the month. Okay, taking out the initial low of the month right here. So to me, this type of profile here is how should I put it? It's quite difficult to anticipate, right? Because usually you would only look for retracements to 50% of the range, which is right here, and over here would be this one, which is right here, 50% of the range. You don't really expect price to just drop into the extreme end, taking out the low that made the high, taking out the entire dealing range. Okay, so that's just something to take note of. Now, where is the true month open? Let's take a look. The true month open is in the second week of July. It's 8th of July. Opening price is at Sunday. So over here is the same, Sunday. Right, notice how above the true open we have this SMT. Above true opens you sell, below true opens you buy, right? I mean, this is Day's theory. So unfortunately we don't have SMT on the lows just yet for the true opens, so we'll have to see how this goes. but this is just for reference. I don't really use it that often for true opens, right? So for me personally, I don't put too much emphasis on this, right? I don't find it very useful sometimes. It is only useful sometimes, but not all the times. Okay, so maybe because I only studied the free stuff that he has put out, I'm not in his group or his paid group, so I wouldn't know what he teaches there. But so far I don't find this useful at all. Like, I mean, trading, that means you're not trying to short here, you mean? Like, you're not trying to short here? If it is below true open, then it doesn't make sense, right? So this is for me something that I don't want to incorporate into, because it can mess up my bias. Okay, so yeah, I would prefer to use the monthly open rather than a true open. Okay, that's just my personal preference here. Okay. Let me just go through to see if I've missed out anything. If not, I'm going to end the session here. Okay, so another thing that I want to point out is that even though I'm expecting SMT on the lows, this low does not have to be the low that forms the SMT. Okay, it can indeed trade down into this level here and do SMT around this level or this level 50%, right? It doesn't have to be this low. So I'm not trying to force a bullish bias now, because I would much rather lean on to the order flow that we are having right now, which is bearish. Okay, I don't want to be catching the low of this retracement, right? So in theory, we should retrace back into 50%, and until one of them has done so, I'm going to lean on to the bearish side, or until we have a change in the state of delivery on the lower time frames. So I hope I'm clear on that. And yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have anything else. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna end the session here. So if you find it helpful, do leave a like, and if you have any questions, do leave a comment down below. And with this, I'll sign out now. Good luck trading next week. It's the last week of the month, last full week of the month, so trade safe. Q4 usually isn't the best time to trade, right? But anyways, trade safe. That's it.